Hey there, comic book friends. I'm Travis, and this is another edition of What the Fugue, where I talk about what's going on with me in my week of comics. Did you miss me? Let me answer that for you. Probably not. Anyway, been gone for a couple weeks as far as What the Fugues go, and most of my other videos have been kind of here and there. Haven't done Comic Roundtable for a couple weeks, trying to survive the holidays. You've probably seen my face a few other hangouts along the way, kind of unplanned things that just kind of popped up. All great stuff, but back on the saddle, horse, whatever. Yeah, back ready to get going into some videos. Gonna get a little more consistent with my regular videos. Hopefully, when my comics come. I say when my comics come because for those of us who live in the States, Canada area, we're getting smashed with this quote-unquote polar vortex. And it has stranded my comic books. They coming from the distributor, Diamond Distributor, to Discount Comic Book Company, where then they mail everything out. The truck has been stranded and stuck in places, and haven't got the books yet. So I won't have my books this Friday to have read them for the Comic Book Roundtable, which will be happening at 6:30 Pacific Time, 9:30 Eastern Time. And but we'll still talk about stuff. I got stuff to talk about. Been gone for 2 weeks, right? So we have plenty to talk about. Hope to see y'all there. Should be a good time for that. And but yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna get my comic books. I don't know if I'll get my comic books Saturday. It may even be next week before I get my books, which is a bummer. But okay, it's not like it's anybody's fault. That's the weather and stuff. Can't really control that. It's not like I don't have plenty to do. I've got this massive pile of comics that I need to deal with. Well, piles of comics that I need to deal with. And so actually I've taken a few days off from work. I'm going to work on that. See if I can get everything back in the old long boxes. Get stuff organized as I venture into the new year. Speaking of the new year, I have been for the last couple days. I was thinking about this, What the Fugue, trying to decide if I was going to do kind of a retrospective, what my year was, where my year's going to go, and I don't know. I'm just going to talk. But there's some other great videos out there. You should check out the Incredible CJ. He has started basically an annual. He did it last year and this year. Talk about the state of his comics, where he's at with collecting, what were his goals last year, did he accomplish those goals, what are his goals going forward. All really cool and interesting stuff. There have been quite a few other ones also, just kind of, this is where I've been. Writing with Comics had a great one where he just talks about, this is basically, for him also, this is like his anniversary being on YouTube for a year, and what being on YouTube and being the channel and all that means. Great video from him. Let's see what other kind of videos are going on right now that I think people should be checking out. Ghost Critic is back. He's not that he's been gone, but he's kind of been gone. But it seems like he's back with full force. He's basically advertising 5 videos a week. Looks like it's gonna be lots of fun. I can't imagine you're not subscribed to him. If there's a slight chance you're not subscribed to Ghost Critic, you really should subscribe to Ghost Critic. Great guy to listen to, talk about comics and just stuff in general. He has a great way of discussing stuff. Very comfortable guy. You should be checking him out. Like I said, he's going to have a video a day. Well, 5 days a week. He's going to have a video, and each day of the week is a particular things. Some of the days are question days and stuff like that, which we all get to participate in, which will be lots of fun. So definitely, be checking him out. Let's see. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody else. As far as hangout type stuff goes, you guys should be checking out the YCC cast. Those guys, Matt on Comics, Stephen McKee, and I'm drawing a blank on the third. No, there's a third guy. Now I'm drawing a blank on his name. I really apologize for that. Hopefully I'll look it up and put it down in the comments. Those 3 guys have got the YCC Hangout. They've got a podcast they do also. Some great stuff coming out of there. Everybody should be paying attention to that too. If you're not, which I don't know why you wouldn't be. You should be checking it out. Most of that stuff, I believe, is hosted on Man Comics channel. Great stuff there. Lots of great stuff, I think, going to be happening this year. This last year, this is where I roll into the retrospective thing that I said I wasn't going to do. This last year has been awesome. Lots and lots of great comics. Incredible discussions on comics. I've got lots of new friends, and that's awesome. Continue to get more out of YouTube than I ever thought I would. Get to meet some really great people. This last year, I've got to meet some people, in the flesh, that I met here on YouTube. Had, incredible time with Sleepy Reader 666. That was awesome. I'm really hoping to get to do more of that once the weather gets decent. Us get together more often. That was really cool. I'm hoping to get together with other people down the road. Hoping to make more friends. Yeah, this whole last year has just been incredible. I have, whether they consider themselves friends or not, they're solid friends to me, as much as any real life friend would be, because this is my real life, and so you are a part of my life. And yeah, it's just really awesome. It's been a great year. I don't see a reason why this next year won't be awesome too. Lots of exciting stuff coming out. Independent books are running stronger than ever. Now it's becoming more of a challenge to decide which independent books you're going to get versus not. Whereas it used to be, it was kind of like there were so few that you kind of wanted to pick up. If you were into independent books, you kind of wanted to pick up what was there, just to give it a try, because there was so little. Now there's getting to be enough stuff that you actually can make some more humming and hawing choices. Everything that comes out from Image, for instance, may not be your cup of tea. You may not want to pick up. Whereas, at the beginning of this last year, it felt like if Image was putting out a book, you wanted to pick it up because it was going to be something exciting. So that's awesome. That's incredible. You roll into this new year with independent books. Just Image Comics holds like 13% of the comic business right now. Image Comics alone owns 13%, which may seem like very little of the pie, but that's huge. Most of my comic book reading career, the pie has been, 98% owned by Marvel and DC. So this is pretty incredible, and that's not counting all the other awesome slices that are out there. Just great. It's a great time to be reading comics. There's some stuff we can piss and moan about, like with the big two, the prices of the books, how more of them are shifting to the higher price. I've talked with some other people. I've talked with Mr. CDC MP. There's another person I should talk about their videos. He does these great videos almost every week. Like on Sundays, he puts out a get to know the YouTube community kind of thing, where he just kind of splices together different people on it. That has been awesome. I've probably added 5, 6, 7 people that I watch now that I had no clue they were out there until seeing those videos. So that's pretty awesome. But anyway, I was talking with him a day or so ago about the price. At some point we're going to inevitably go up in price, aren't we? Isn't that, it kind of almost has to, to some degree. You can figure the companies can save money to a point, but how long have comic books been $2.99? Like DC Comics. I was looking through some of my old comics from like 2007, and the books were $2.99. So we're in 2014 now. That's, we're coming into 7 years of it being at that price point. At some point, it has to move. I can't remember the exact thing. I need to look it up sometime, because I remember as a kid in the 80s, it seemed like there was this extremely quick bump. Comic books were 75 cents, and then bang, they were $1, briefly $1.10 or something like that, $1.25. And I know some of that jump was they changed the product. They changed the quality of paper and whatnot that the books were put on, and made them much better quality book. And so it's kind of acceptable for the price, because I knew I was getting you know, instead of the old brown newsprint paper, you're getting this better paper and whatnot. And so that was all really great. And so those some of those price jumps that happened a lot. It seemed like there were a lot of them really quickly through there. Seemed okay and whatnot, but yeah, I don't know. That's going to be interesting to see where that all goes to. It looks more and more like looking at my next orders. I think there were only 5 Marvel books. I think that were at the $2.99 price point. Makes it a little me. I mean, price matters, but it doesn't matter to me at the same time. Obviously, it limits how many books I can get if they're all more expensive. But you know, quite honestly, almost all of the independent books that I buy are more expensive. You know, a lot of them are like the $3.50 mark. A lot of the Dark Horse and stuff that I really enjoy, and I'm willing to pay that because I'm enjoying it, and it doesn't seem unreasonable in the reality of things. You start looking at the price of other stuff. You know, if you go and buy yourself a fancy cup of coffee or whatever, it's the same price and it's gone. I don't even have it to enjoy later on. So anyway, I don't know, the whole price point thing. I wonder how long that's going to last. It's something I'm real curious to see about this year. But anyway, that price point. I'm rambling. That price point makes me a little more hesitant to try some of the Marvel books that I'm unsure on. If I'm unsure on it, well, maybe I don't want to go and pay that. Whereas if it was that dollar less, if it was that $2.99, be a little more inclined to at least check out the first couple issues. Well, yawn. I have a massive head cold right now, so if I see it a little more extra addled, that's why. I just refuse to let it get me down from having fun here. But speaking of Marvel, they're coming out with a lot of really interesting books. I'm going to have to give them a pat on the back. The fact is that it feels like they're trying to branch out and do some more fringe books. And those are the books I'm interested in because I have a real struggle with the whole, just like with the DC's becoming this giant machine now too, the DC universe, everything is so enmeshed in this big giant ball that's going forward. That's hard just to enjoy an off story without having to pay attention to a whole bunch of other stuff that's going on. And sometimes I just don't want to do that. The Marvel machine I have been out of for so long, and it was so different when I was into the Marvel machine that it's hard for me to want to jump back into that big machine and whatnot. And a few times I've kind of flirted with it, it's been more frustrating than anything else. So I read a lot. I try to read their fringe books, you know, the Hawkeyes and you know, I was reading Captain Marvel until it got enmeshed into the big machine. Young Avengers and stuff like that is kind of more what I'm interested in. The Punisher book was that way too. More interested in because I don't have to worry about the big machine as much. And they're putting out a bunch of books that aren't part of that. I'm pretty excited about that. You know, you got this Silver Surfer book that's going to be coming out. You've got a new book. You got the new Punisher book that's coming out. Both those books I'm probably not going to get. The Silver Surfer, I'm tempted by the Mike Allred art on it a lot. But the story plot that's kind of been put forward so far with the companion thing, I don't know. I've about decided I'm not getting that. Oh, little yawn. Can't breathe today. The Punisher book, no, I decided I'm not going to. I really enjoyed the Greg Rucka Punisher, but that had more to do with Greg Rucka, I think, than Punisher the character. Let's see. Moon Knight book that's coming out. Really excited by that. I've always kind of dug Moon Knight. Moon Knight's been a pretty cool character. I don't like Gaga over Moon Knight, but I really think Moon Knight rocks. I own quite a bit of old Moon Knight. Warren Ellis is going to be writing it. I'm kind of excited to see him get back into mainstream comics, see what he has to say, because he's been out of comics for a little bit. You know, maybe he's got some fresh legs under him to say something interesting. They look like they kind of changed Moon Knight to some degree. It looks like they've got him sporting a suit and whatnot, which to me that's cool. It's going to be these kind of street level weirdness there in New York. I'm excited by that. Just announced yesterday, new Iron Fist book is going to be starting out. I've dug Iron Fist for quite a few years now. Read the Ed Brubaker, Matt Fraction run of the book, which was pretty awesome, and excited to see what that's going to be. That's another, kind of a fringe book and whatnot. Feels like the Ms. Marvel book is going to be kind of a fringe book. I mean, yeah, potentially it's a poster child for all of the minority stuff, woman, Muslim, American, I mean, so young person. So hopefully that's not just what it's about. Hopefully it's about something beyond that. I believe it is. I believe it is because I think the creators want it to be something more than that. So I think it will be. So I'll be checking that out. I know there's some other ones I'm missing, but just that's exciting to me. That to me that's interesting. That I'm excited about some portion of Marvel. I don't know that I'm excited by the big machine, but then everybody who thinks I'm a DC person, I'm not excited by the big machine that DC is becoming. Give me these fringe books that aren't. That obviously they're in the world, but they're not so tied to whatever the big thing is. I don't know if that makes sense, but anyway. So yeah. Like I said, looking forward to the new year and what all it's going to have and whatnot. I had some other poignant things that I wanted to talk about, and now I'm drawing a blank on what they are. Cold medicine must be kicking in. But anyway, like I said, I'm going to spend the next couple days putting all these books away that are behind me, and that's only like probably less than half of what I have to put away. Yeah, what a nightmare. Going into this next year, I have decided I'm going to kind of take a page out of the Ghost Critic, how he does his books. He puts all of his books annually. He stacks them up so he has them all in one place for the year, so that he can kind of go back and talk about them at the end of the year and whatnot. I think that's kind of cool. I'm actually thinking about from this point forward changing the way I the way I box my books. I'm actually really thinking about going to a yearly. This is how I collected comic books this year. This is how I collected. I'm at least certainly going to do that. I'm going to take regular long boxes and starting with this week's books, I am putting the books in a box by themselves. I'm not going to be working them into these boxes for the year, and just because I'm curious to see how many boxes I buy of comics in a year, and also so it's easier for me to go back through and look and go, oh, this is what the years with the comics look like. What happened to that year? Because for me, it starts to get foggy after a while. What happened at the beginning of the year? Inevitably people ask questions. What was your favorite book of the year? What was all the other stuff of the year? And I have a hard time remembering and picturing. So it's going to give me a better way to do that. Plus, I think we might add some interesting videos at the end of the year to talk about this is where we're at and this is what it was. And like I said, I'm stealing that from Ghost Critic because I like his. I like that. I thought that was really interesting. So I'm going to do that, and then, like I said, I may keep them that way. Then I may keep them, alphabetical order. But then alphabetical order, this was 2014, and then the next year alphabetical order, this is 2015. That might be an interesting journal, historical, whatever, at a point. Granted, I'm going to have some knowledge of what year something came out if I want to find an older book or whatever. But I don't know. Maybe when I'm dead and gone and all these comic books are set here, that might be interesting to somebody to see that as how I came about where I was at. So I don't know. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. But like I said, I know for sure I'm going with this is my years with the books. This is my years with the books. Haven't decided when I buy back issues what that's going to be like. If I would put those in with this is the stuff I got for the year. I think so. And then I'll move those though back into the main collection. I don't know. Let's see. This is going to be really long, but I'm going to keep talking. Batwoman. Of course, if you've watched the Bat Chat, another awesome show, you should jump on if you are marginally interested at all in the Bat family. We usually get into at least one excellent discussion in there about something. I think to a large degree this time, Batwoman was a pretty hefty focus for part of the conversation. Of course, we got the creator change. The official team is on the book now, and of course, there was all kinds of problems with the books. Unfortunately for me, during Bat Chat, I hadn't gotten my books yet, so I couldn't really talk about it. And I will actually do a review of Batwoman when I do my regular reviews here in the next day or today or whatever. But something that I don't remember anybody bringing up that I wish would have been brought up, because to me this is like crazy bullshit. And so Batwoman issue 26, right? It is what it is. But about the middle of the book, we have Firebrand here. There's Firebrand. She's talking, and she says, "Party pooper, come on. After what we dealt with a few weeks ago, we need to shake off the barnacles, right?" And then you get one of those little editorial captions. And this editorial caption right there, I don't know if you can read that. Focus camera. It says, in case you can't read it, asterisk, see what Betty's referring to in Batwoman Annual Number 1 on sale April 2014. Mike, the editor. And of course, I read that, but I didn't read that. And I'm like, Batwoman Annual? Like, I don't remember Batwoman Annual. So I'm whipping out the smartphone, trying to find a Batwoman. I didn't know freaking Batwoman Annual. And then it occurs to me, 2014. April of 2014. I got this book at the end of December, beginning of January, and they're telling me to know what the hell she's talking about. I'm going to have to wait until April of this year. That's 4 months from now. That's bullshit. You can't tell me to see something that isn't going to happen for another 4 months. Come on. That's ridiculous. I don't know. To me, that's just, forget it. They didn't need to add that. She could have said what she said and that not been there. Don't tell me there's a story you haven't bothered to tell yet and that's what I should go refer to. That's ridiculous. I don't think I've ever seen that in a book before. I've seen the editorials that tell you to go read another book or make sure you read these books in the right order or whatever. But, hey, you're going to have to jump in your time machine and go to the future to read this book to know what the hell she's referring to in that book. Bonkers. Excuse my language, but that is bullshit. That is ridiculous. So that part of the book pisses me off. That's it. I'll talk about the rest of the book another time. But that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Anyway, I'm obviously rambling off on all kinds of stuff, and this is too long. No one's going to watch this far. Anyway, thanks for hanging in there with me. For those of you who did, look forward to seeing you either in the comments or on Comic Book Roundtable Friday at 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern Time. And look forward to this year and getting to talk with all of you more. You're really the reason I'm here and doing this. I mean, I do it for myself, but you guys are the ones that add so much joy to me collecting comics and being part of all of this and getting to talk with you guys and stuff has been, and I hope will continue to be, awesome. Have a great day, everybody.